They tried to kill the sky. Once in a land far beyond the mountains, where the earth met the endless blue, there lived a people who feared the sky. The elders called it the Great Blue, but the young ones whispered a different name, the Hungry Mouth. They said it watched them with empty eyes, waiting to swallow them whole. The people of this land were not like others. They built their homes deep in the caves, far from the open air. They lit fires to push back the darkness, but no fire could chase away the sky. It stretched above them, vast and unchanging, no matter how much they begged it to go away. One day, a man named Kael stood before his people and spoke in a voice like cracking stone. "We must kill the sky," he said. "If we do not, it will kill us first." At first the people laughed. How could anyone kill something so vast? But Kael was not a man who accepted laughter. He showed them his plan, a tower taller than any tree, taller than the mountains themselves. If they built it high enough, he said, they could reach the sky and tear it apart with their hands. So the people worked. They cut down the great trees of the forest. They piled stone upon stone. They built and built until their hands bled and their backs ached. The tower grew, and as it rose, the people dared to hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could be free of their fear. Years passed. Children became adults, and adults grew old. Still, the tower climbed higher. Kael, now bent with age, stood at its base and looked up. "Soon," he whispered. Then, on a day when the wind howled like a wounded beast, the tower was finished. The bravest among them, a young woman named Liora, stepped forward. She would climb to the top. She would face the sky. The people watched as she began her ascent. The higher she went, the smaller she became, until she was no more than a speck against the endless blue. Then she reached the top. Liora stood there, breathing hard, and looked up. The sky was close now, so close she could almost touch it. She reached out her hand, trembling, and then she understood. The sky was not a thing to be fought. It was not a monster. It was air, wind, light, the breath of the world itself. It had no mind, no hunger. It simply was. She looked down at the people far below, tiny as ants. They were waiting for her to bring them victory. But there was no victory to be had. With a heavy heart, Liora began her descent. When she reached the bottom, the people crowded around her. "Did you kill it?" they asked. "Is the sky gone?" Liora shook her head. "We cannot kill the sky," she said. "It does not hate us. It does not even see us. We have wasted our lives fearing something that was never our enemy." The people did not like her words. They had worked too hard to hear such things. Kael, old and tired, stepped forward. "Then we will build a roof," he said. "A shield to cover the land. If we cannot kill the sky, we will hide from it." And so they tried. They wove ropes and stretched hides between the mountain tops. They covered their world piece by piece, until one day no blue could be seen above them. The people cheered. They had won. But then the air grew still. The wind had died. The plants, starved of light, began to wither. The people coughed in the thick, unmoving air. The world beneath their roof was dying. Liora stood before them once more. "We were wrong," she said. "The sky gives us life. Without it, we cannot breathe. Without it, the land will turn to dust." This time, the people listened. Together they tore down the roof they had built. The sky returned, vast and blue as ever. The wind stirred again. The plants grew green. And the people, at last, looked up without fear. They had tried to kill the sky. But the sky had only ever been waiting, not to harm them, but to teach them. And so, beneath its endless blue, they lived. Not in caves, but under the open air. Not in fear, but in wonder. For the sky was not their enemy. It was their home.